And a quick reminder from our president, Joe Biden, that he is working every day, fighting to build an economy that rewards work, not wealth. You are to remain a peasant. Don't question the narrative, okay? And live your life happily ever after, owning nothing and being happy. May God be with you all. Thank you for tuning in tonight, guys. Let's run it up, okay? Wherever you're tuning in, if you're tuning in on the podcast platforms, Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, thank you for joining me tonight. Let's run it up, and let's remind us who we're up against here. This is the criminal, corrupt campaign conspiracy that we have completely exposed. This is not a political statement. Our country has been hijacked by people that do not have the interest of you, the American citizen. The rest of the world, if you're tuning in and you're not in the United States, it's the same deal. You just didn't have the reserve currency status in your country that has given us the entitlement, the privilege of living the class, the life that we've had here in America up to this point. But it's coming home, folks. I hope you are strapped in. I hope you have a plan, because as Joe Biden says here, he is here to reward not wealth, but work. Remain a peasant. Own nothing. Be happy. Work for the corporations, right? This whole economy is being consolidated as we speak. Small businesses of America have been wiped out after the events of 2020, after we shut down our economy, right? They wiped us out. You are not going to have a chance at building wealth for your family in this coming new world order that they have planned for you. Now, much is looking great. Much is looking fantastic as far as the quantum financial system that's about to be rolled out, all of the opportunity that is going to be available for us. But I want to remind you guys that we are in a fight. Okay, this is not a guaranteed victory for us, guaranteed wealth and riches. Our XRP is going to go to the moon and we're all going to be happy on our yachts. Folks, we have a fight underway, right? Mr. Joe Biden here, our president, it's always funny saying that one. Our president, Joe Biden, is just coming out and telling us, that we're going to have a new world order, that he's here to reward work, not wealth, right? And they're telling us that you're going to own nothing and be happy in this new world order. They are wide out here in the open. Adeline, thank you for the 10 spots, starting early with the super chat gifts. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much as we run it up tonight. Let's get into it, guys, because here's the truth. This is a recent poll that just came out. Nearly 2/3 of voters believe that Biden is compromised by ties to China. Now, I'm not here to tell you left, right, who to vote for. If you think that Joe Biden's doing a great job, God bless you. Good luck. Here's the facts, though. 2/3 of voters believe that Biden is compromised by ties to China. Now, I'm going to let you guys decide. I'm not going to speak on that any further, but let's just look at the numbers. Let's look at the data. Let's look at the economic status of our country. Let's look at the reserve currency status of America. It's over, folks. Get ready. 4 months after increasing the debt limit by $2.5 trillion, the U.S. now only $997 billion remaining until the new limit is reached. So we're about to hit our debt limit once again here in America. And we've been talking about how this story is over. This story is wrapping up. Nobody else is buying our bonds. They're dropping our bonds. They're dropping the dollar. They don't care about the SWIFT payment network. The war in Ukraine, Russia, it expedited this whole system collapsing, right? So we haven't made it to the new quantum financial system yet, but this thing is falling apart on a day-to-day basis. And you are going to get wiped out if you don't prepare yourself and your family right now for what we're about to live through. I know you can listen, and I called this yesterday. I did my weekly call with my Discord group, and I called it the QFS Kool-Aid. And I'm just making a joke out about, I believe in the quantum financial system. We're right on the doorsteps of it. It's going to be fantastic. The technology could be used to free humanity. It could be a beautiful thing. But I'm calling it the QFS Kool-Aid because I know a lot of people think that, this thing's, about to roll over soon and it's going to be just fine and dandy for all of us. I would love for that to be the case, but I'm going to tell you right now that we can see that these people are fighting against us on a day-to-day basis. They do not want to reward wealth in this country, as I just covered from Joe Biden, right? They want to take away this opportunity for us. So whether we're going to roll over to the new system this year, next year, we know that it's coming. We've positioned ourselves accordingly. Right? But the fact of the matter is that this story's up here in America. We have $997 billion remaining until the new debt limit is reached. And if I go to this next this next article, the Biden administration preparing another $800 million weapons package for Ukraine would raise total U.S. assistance to $3.4 billion since the invasion began. Now, maybe we shouldn't be concerned, right? We have nearly another trillion here to spend. Why should we be concerned about another $3.4 billion to the world stage events taking place in Ukraine? Now, recently, I forget who it was, what platforms I was looking through. I was looking through some platforms that were saying that you weren't allowed to question the war narrative in Ukraine. And those were the exact words that they chose. You are not allowed to question the war narrative in Ukraine. So they're calling it a war. Since when in America have we not been able to call out the war machine here, right? Going all the way back to 2001, the events of 2001 leading us up to the events of 2020, all staged, all pre-planned, all connected, right? The great military that we have in this country has been hijacked by criminal banksters that use us as their hired gun. And we've racked up trillions of dollars of debt fighting these wars, being the policemen of the world, right? And we're not allowed to question the narrative. I'm sorry, but in this country, we're going to continue to fight for our right to speak the truth, our right to speak freely. The censorship is out of control. The woke narrative has been lost. As I titled this video, the mainstream narrative has been lost. No, we've exposed what's going on in Ukraine. We've exposed what happened in the Middle East, right? We exposed what happened in Afghanistan, and what an embarrassment that was with Sleepy Creepy running the show. Absolute joke. It's sick. It's absolutely sick to see how our troops, how our military has been used over the last 2 decades. Absolutely criminal. Going all the way back to Vietnam, as a matter of fact. My family, my grandpa actually fought in Vietnam, right? All my family, military. I love our military, but it is absolutely criminal to see that we're still fighting these banksters' wars decades into the new millennium here, and we are a bankrupt country, $30 trillion in debt with hundreds of trillions of unfunded liabilities, millions of veterans homeless here in the streets of America, internal chaos that we have no answer for, yet we're going to send billions of dollars to the world stage events in Ukraine. Absolutely sickening. But I better not speak on that because apparently we're not allowed to question the, quote, war narrative. No, we're all supposed to be war hawks. Don't question the narrative, and let's support our President Joe. Now, switching to the economy here, stocks surged today after Bullard warns of 75 basis point hike. Nobody is scared of the Fed anymore. This is from Zero Hedge. So the stocks did tick up today, and this was even after we had this guy Bullard from the Fed saying that we shouldn't raise it by 0.5%. We should raise it by 0.75%. That would be 75 basis points at the Fed. Folks, if they do go ahead with this, this is absolutely going to kill us. Kill us. Metaphorically speaking, of course, but I mean, look at the situation. It's pretty rough out there. This is going to kill us. We talked about this, how they got so many people into these adjustable rate mortgages over the last 2 years and even over the last decade. We didn't fix any of the issues of the previous financial crisis. In fact, we only made them worse. So you have the Fed now going super hawkish, saying that they could raise rates 75 basis points, nearly 0.75%, which is, relatively speaking, a joke. Guys, the interest rate, the Fed funds rate is 0.25%. The Fed had to jack rates to 20% to fix the inflation crisis of the 1970s. We are screwed. This is going to get so much worse before it gets better. We can sip the QFS Kool-Aid all day long, but folks, it's going to get a whole hell of a lot worse before it gets better. So I want you guys to have a plan. Prepare for the quantum financial system. Stack these cryptocurrencies. Stack your precious metals. If you want to think that the whole stock market's moving to stellar and that you can buy these companies and that's going to work out for you, God bless you. I'm not hating on that. I'm not saying that that's not true. I'll get into that later. But at the end of the day, guys, look at the situation in the streets. Look at the supply chain crisis getting worse. Look at the mortgage rates reaching a pre-2006 level. We're in for a ride here, right? And so I just want people to be prepared, right? We can talk all day about XRP going to the moon, about how great our utility cryptos are, how this is going to be life-changing for us. It will, right? But the events that we're leading through up to that point are going to be life-changing or life-ending. Whether or not we're prepared for them is going to be the key determinant whether or not we make it to the other side. Now, that may sound dramatic, but look at what's taking place. That's what's really going on right now in America and across the world. Let's continue on, though. We're doing 2 prepping classes. We did a prepping class 2 weeks ago. We did a real estate deep dive last week in my Discord. And then this week, once again, we're doing another prepping class. Because for us, prepping is, for one, a hedge against inflation, right? We're buying the essentials that we know we're going to need over the course of the next year. And as the prices at your grocery store, as your essentials go up 25 to 50%, you've captured those gains, right? You've captured those savings. And so that's one half of the story. The other half is we know that the cyber attacks are underway. We know that the supply chain crisis is getting worse. We know that this wealth gap is increasing. We have a situation where it is the haves versus the have-nots in this country getting worse. But let's continue on here. Bank of Japan offers to purchase an unlimited amount of bonds at a fixed rate. This is the forever pump. This is the central bank here of Japan absolutely destroying the value of that currency over there. I'm going to show you this next article. Gold is trading around all-time highs against the euro alongside the Japanese yen. So there you go. The central bank continues to buy unlimited bonds, right? And that currency pegged up against gold is reaching all-time highs. Currently, many fiat currencies are breaking down against gold worldwide. And it's because it's a debt crisis, liquidity crisis, right? Continuing on. This one coming in from Zero Hedge. Russian crude exports are averaging 360 KBD above pre-invasion volume. That's going to be your barrels per day. This is coming from JP Morgan, I guess, but this is above pre-invasion levels. So Russia basically already had their reset, right? The ruble tanked, the stock market tanked, it had to be shut down. They've already had their restructuring and revaluation, and now they've been able to back up their economy, their country, by crude exports that have now reached above pre-invasion levels. And we know they're sitting on record amounts of gold. And we know that they're stockpiling other commodities like wheat, fertilizers, and others. Same thing with China. See, China is playing along, acting like they're neutral in this, not showing any support really for Russia. But what we know has been done is the deals have been done between the BRICS nations. They knew that this time of ditching the SWIFT system was here. They knew that the United States was going to weaponize the SWIFT payment network. So Russia is now selling more oil as they suffer the devastation of not having Starbucks. Funny tweet from George Gammon. So the woke the woke media here, the woke corporations that pull out of Russia. Oh, they're punishing those Russians, right? Even though they won't even sanction the true oligarchs, even though they won't sanction Putin, even though they won't stop buying the natural gas, the resources, the commodities, right? We have these political plays, the political correct crowd of Starbucks, takes their business out of Russia. That they don't care, right? And let's continue on before I digress. Breaking news, the International Monetary Fund has cut its global growth projections for 2022 and 2023. Says risks to economy have risen sharply. Gee, you figure? The IMF, and yesterday it was the World Bank, they don't want to say that a recession is here, right? They don't want to admit that a debt crisis, liquidity crisis is here. But as we can see from the numbers, as we can see from the data, the pain is being felt. Yes, and this is the article that I wanted to get to in regards to the politically correct woke crowd. Netflix. Shares plunge over 23% in after-hours trading. Netflix has projected a loss of 2 million subscribers in the current quarter. And it's hilarious to see, right? Netflix is just putting out trash productions, basically. And at the end of the day, they've jacked up their prices. It's about $20 now for a monthly membership. Instead of paying $20 to Netflix, you should join my exclusive Discord community and actually get your game up and actually start creating wealth for your family. That's what you should be doing with your money, not paying for the trash Netflix that they're producing. But at the end of the day, what we're seeing here is that people don't have discretionary spending, right? They're cutting back. They're having to cut back on their Netflix, along with people just ditching the woke productions that are coming out of this outfit, Netflix, right? But I wanted to point out this as well. This tweet from Jim Cramer on January 3rd. Netflix has tanked 57% since Jim Cramer, the Wall Street shill, put out this tweet. Netflix, buy. So if you want good investment advice, just wait for Jim Cramer to give you the buy signal and place your short, right? I mean, it's an absolute joke, right? I think that what we're seeing right now is, this is why we're getting so much traction on this channel. This is why we're getting so much traction on Rumble. The people want the truth, right? The people are tired of all of these politically correct documentaries coming out on Netflix. You know, I watch some of these programs just so I can see how they're feeding the masses. Just so I can see and know that the complete opposite of what they're telling me is the truth, right? That's why I watch these movies. That's why I watch, some of these things. Right now I'm watching Designated Survivor. I'm loving this show, by the way. So I don't do a lot of the movies. I don't watch any movies or, TV really at all. But I'm watching Designated Survivor right now. It's right up my alley. Political conspiracies, all these events playing out, a lot of symbolism in there. Fascinating show, great show. So as I'm bashing Netflix and talking about how it's absolute trash, this show is interesting. I like these ones. These ones are right up my alley. But anyways, they're losing market share to people like myself. They're losing market share to other people that are, not bought and paid out for by the Wall Street narrative, right? The people like myself that haven't done promotional deals, that aren't going to show you any projects. I just want to bring you the truth every night. And that's why we appreciate all the gifts, all the support, guys. It really means a lot. At the end of the day, for me, all truth will be revealed, and I'm going to be part of that. I'm going to be part of pounding out the truth. I don't care about politically correctness. I don't need anybody's money. I just want the truth to be out there, and I want people to prepare themselves for the greatest transfer of wealth in world history, because as we listen to Biden, as we listen to the World Economic Forum tell us that we're going to own nothing and be happy, we know that they're out to kill us financially, right? So we can listen to mainstream media narratives put out here by Jim Cramer, by the CNNs, by the MSNBCs, by the Fox News, right? And for me, I'll tune into CNN. I'll tune into Fox News, just like I'll tune into Netflix, so that I know how they're feeding the masses and the narrative, the world stage events, how they're setting it up. That's the only reason why I'll tune into that. But enough of that. Let's transfer over to the cryptocurrency updates. Thank you for tuning in. Let's talk cryptocurrency. We did get some updates here in the Ripple lawsuit. We'll cover that. But before we go there, huge shout out to Digital Asset Investor. Jack from Twitter has been activated. I think he's got tired of Elon and the shenanigans that he's pulling in his purchase of Twitter. So Jack has been activated. He's had enough of the BS. And shout out to Digital Asset Investor for sharing these next two clips I'm going to show you. Jack, though, from Twitter put out this tweet yesterday. If you're building on Ethereum, you have at least one, if not many, single points of failure and therefore not interesting to me. So we know that Jack Dorsey, CEO of Twitter, he's a big Bitcoin maxi, right? Bitcoin is the end all be all. And, you know, this is what we've been saying about Ethereum from the whole point is you have a group that has been pre-selected by, what's his name? Joseph Lubin, by Vitalik and the Ethereum Foundation to update the network to 2.0. What's happening right now is the stage is being set. I believe that once they launch Ethereum 2.0, that is going to be when the SEC actually goes after Ethereum, right? They're basically letting them make their own bed, right? Set their own table up here, set their own situation before they swoop in. It's actually what I believe they're doing right now with the whole rest of the space is they're letting them continue to build up evidence and continue their criminal activity before they move in. Because what we have here is Jay Clayton making a public appearance. He says, quote, "We're not going to have a system where you can go out and raise hundreds of millions of dollars for a project from anonymous people who would trade amongst themselves without having that level information playing field." Where have we heard that before, right? The level playing field. Mr. Jay Clayton, this is what we've been waiting for, right? And the stage is being set here for them to move on Ethereum, for them to move on the rest of the space. A victory for Ripple will not be a victory for the rest of the space. Do not get it twisted. 99% of these projects did an ICO. They raised millions of dollars, hundreds of millions, billions of dollars. Ethereum, they hid the anonymous whales, right? Trading amongst themselves, hiding their deal amongst themselves, right? And now we're waiting for Ethereum 2.0 3 years later. We're still waiting on this thing to get released. It's an absolute joke. And as you guys just saw, Uniswap got sued. Uniswap got sued because some dudes lost money trading shitcoins that were built on top of the Ethereum free pass. Right? So this whole casino, this whole house of cards been built upon this thing, and they've been letting all these criminal actors build their case before they come in and strike on the cryptocurrency space. This is the greatest setup, especially for us. We've positioned ourselves into XRP, XLM, XDC, right? All of the ISO coins that we know did things properly. We know that Algorand did the Dutch auction. They did a level playing field ICO. Could they still get sued by the SEC? Absolutely. But we know that the founder's best buddies with Gary Gensler. So, they got that going for them. But they did a Dutch auction, which is different, much different from how Ethereum did their ICO. Let's continue on. This was a funny tweet. In case you're wondering what happened to all those .eth Twitter handles, this is a post from Wall Street Bets. And this is someone who shares, "I owe the IRS $163,000 from gains. Long story short, I don't have it. Now what? I'm over the $50,000 threshold for the payment plan, apparently." Folks, I hope that you got a strategy, and I hope that you guys have, either paid your taxes, or you've filed an extension, or you've already made yourself a sovereign citizen, and you got a whole John McAfee plan for avoiding your taxes. May God be with you. I know it's a criminal, corrupt institution. I'm not going to give you tax advice here, but what I'm going to tell you right now is that a lot of people screwed themselves by their trades that they made last year. Either they had no idea that every trade that they made amongst all of the cryptos was a taxable event, or they made a bunch of money trading cryptos, and now they don't have the money to pay their tax bill. So either way, I hope you have a plan. If you live the life of John McAfee and you're going to, become a sovereign citizen and not pay your taxes, God willing, you will win that fight. And I cannot wait to see the IRS abolished. I'm right there with you. If you are making serious moves, I highly advise you guys have an accountant on your team, and you don't need to get crazy with it. It doesn't need to be a crypto tax expert. All you're doing is trading property. So your crypto accountant can just be your regular accountant who's helping you file your taxes, if that's what you're doing, right? Where you're going to make a headache for your accountant is when you did 5,000 trades last year and you got to hand him over that Excel spreadsheet, or you got to hand him over that trading roster that you got of all of the stupid moves that you made over the last year trading in and out of cryptos. I know that I handed my accountant my deal and he shook his head, but I didn't do too much trading last year. But yeah, I hope you guys have a plan nonetheless. Don't be like this guy who made $163,000 last year and now he can't afford his tax bill. Okay, let's go to the Ripple lawsuit. So today it came out. Shout out to James Filan, by the way, for all the updates. Court denies the Ripple defendants' motion to strike the Mets report. Reopens discovery until May 13th to redepose Dr. Metz. SEC ordered to pay, quote, reasonable expenses regarding filing the motion and redeposing Metz. The court criticizes the SEC, finding that, the SEC has conducted itself improperly by serving an unauthorized supplemental report on the last day of discovery. So they criticize the SEC, but they do reopen discovery. Here we go, folks. The staged lawsuit continues. They reopen discovery until May 13th to depose Dr. Metz. Okay, but they are going to serve them. They're going to make them pay the penalty. But I want to scroll down here to what John Deaton says. John Deaton says, I expect motions to be filed in June. The deadline for this 4-hour depot is May 13th. This won't cause any further delay. So John Deaton is saying that he does not expect this to delay us any further. Okay, so that's good news. Basically, they've just reopened discovery. They're going to allow one guy to come in for a 4-hour deposition, and that'll be that. But then we also have Judge Netburn today denied Garlinghouse's motion to compel production of the Estabrook notes. The court states that the Estabrook's notes are no different from the notes the court previously found to be protected by the privilege. So we will not be seeing the Estabrook notes. Okay? And Jeremy Hogan says, also, as I tweeted back in February, I don't care too much. Garlinghouse was on the call and he can testify about what was said. So Jeremy Hogan tweeted back in February, which means that the SEC has no evidence at all about the meeting, but can only argue that Garlinghouse's testimony is, quote, self-serving, and all testimony is self-serving. That's very ×2 weak sauce, by which I mean to say whatever the judge rules, the SEC is already dead here. And that is because, as Jeremy Hogan says here, the idea of uncontroverted evidence is very, very powerful in the law. It's evidence that must be believed by the court. So unless the SEC comes up with evidence to the contrary, whatever Garlinghouse says about the conversation is what took place, no questions asked. So let me help make this sense for the simple folk out here that's saying, what the hell are you talking about? Because I'm right there with you, right? I don't understand this legal jargon. Essentially, Garlinghouse heard the testimony he saw, and so the court is going to have to basically accept Garlinghouse's testimony or what he has to say about these notes. Jeremy Hogan is saying, why fight this uphill battle? One, because Ripple wasn't 100% sure what was in these notes, and so it was a chance worth taking. Basically, they had nothing to lose by asking for these notes, right? It's not really a loss for Ripple. It's not a big deal. And number two, these are the notes that the SEC, quote, found after the fact, and it makes the SEC look sloppy, bad, and you always want to highlight that to the judge. So basically, it's another victory for Ripple in pointing out the sloppiness, the flip-flop, the go back and open up discovery, the go back, right, and cover up your tracks that the SEC has been doing. And we're starting to see Judge Netburn, I believe, is being really fair. And folks, I mean, this is going to be so beautiful when this thing's finally over. We've absolutely won this case. Do not get worried about this thing at all. John Deaton tweeted today, I'm getting a lot of DMs on what happens next with the Ripple XRP case. This Friday, the SEC and Ripple are expected to file a joint proposed scheduling order to Judge Torres. It is likely to contain a deadline to submit any Daubert challenges related to expert testimony. It should also include a deadline to submit summary judgment motions and a date to respond to each summary judgment motion. That means the SEC and Ripple are likely to meet and confer this week, unless they already have, to see if they can agree on scheduling. So we should basically get scheduling here soon, this Friday or maybe early next week. We should get the date, the deadline for the summary judgment motions. So this thing's coming to an end. The timing is absolutely immaculate, okay? This is looking so good for us. And John Deaton also tweeted out today, regardless of anyone's opinion on Judge Netburn or her recent rulings, she gave us 2 absolute gems that will appear in our amicus brief. Now, the amicus brief is basically the lawsuit that John Deaton basically what he's doing. So in his amicus brief, what he gets to basically file into the lawsuit, into the record, he's gonna share these as well. So this was an absolute blessing from Judge Netburn, and this goes to show you that she realizes the truth. She understands what XRP is. The court. This is from the lawsuit, right? My understanding of XRP, this is from Judge Netburn, quote, my understanding of XRP is that not only does it have a sort of currency value, but it also has a utility. And that utility distinguishes it, I think, from Bitcoin and Ether. Folks, God bless us. I mean, it's been such a long time coming, but she just said it right there. It has a currency value, but it also has a utility that distinguishes itself from Bitcoin and Ethereum and the whole rest of this space. That has no chance of standing up to the utility that can be provided by this XRP ledger. And let's check out this other one, this other gem from Judge Netburn. Presumably, under this theory, then, every individual in the world who is selling XRP would be committing a Section 5 violation based on what you just said. So basically, the SEC screwed themselves over by making this case, because what they're saying is that today's XRP is a security. So when you go to sell your XRP, or when I go to sell my XRP, we are selling a security. So this would mean that every individual in the world who was selling XRP would be committing a Section 5 violation based on what you just said. Now, Jeremy Hogan said over here, when the judge told the SEC lawyer that, based on his argument, every person who buys XRP is breaking the law, my jaw almost hit the floor. That was the best part of this case for me. Glad that it's making it into your brief, into the amicus brief that John Deaton will be filing on behalf of the 66,000 XRP holders worldwide. And God bless you all. It's been a long time coming, folks, but we're close. We're close. The end is in sight. Doesn't matter if it's this month, next year, it's coming, right? I hope you guys have positioned yourselves accordingly. Now, this market, let's take a look here at the market. Bitcoin has broke back above 41, Ethereum back above 3, XRP still trending sideways at 76. But as I gave the signal to my Discord group last night, we had our weekly call last night, I told them that I did think that the bottom was in and that we were going to be moving up to the upside to finish off this month. And sure enough, we moved up today. And I think that we're going to continue to move up here towards the end of this month. Now, I wanted to throw in a couple little side points for you guys. A little bit of an energy going to be coming in, a little bit of an energy shift about to occur. Check it out. On April 30th, coming up here soon, we have the new moon coming in on April 30th. But we're going to be having a partial solar eclipse coming in on April 30th. And then we're going to be having a lunar eclipse coming in next month on May's full moon. So, for those of you who don't know, we've been following this pattern: bullish energy around the new moon, bearish energy around the full moon. God bless Waters Above Crypto for putting us onto this pattern back in September when the Shemitah year started, Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, back in September. That is when Waters Above Crypto put myself, and I started to share this with my community. The pattern that we were watching was bullish energy coming in around the new moon, bearish energy coming in around the full moons. And this is why this is important, because this is what happened back in November and December, and how we were able to call the Bitcoin bear market coming in on December 4th. And we knew it was going to be powerful. We knew it was going to be powerful because we had back-to-back eclipses taking place back in November and December. It happened in reverse back in November and December of 2022. So we had a lunar eclipse in November, and then we had a solar eclipse in December. And that new moon came in on December 4th. I predicted that we were going to get a new top coming in for Bitcoin on December 4th. That was wrong. That did not come in. But we said that a new top would come in and that we would enter a bear market. That was correct. That did end up playing out. That was the 40% liquidation event. And that was on the solar eclipse. This time around, it's the opposite. So we have the solar eclipse that's coming in on April 30th when we're going to be getting our new moon, and why I'm predicting that we're going to see this market move on to the upside over the next couple weeks. And then we have the lunar eclipse coming in on May, and that's going to be the full moon, May 16th. So just wanted to point that out. Be ready for the energy to be wild. It always ramps up. The crazies always come out around that full moon. So be ready for that. I don't know if we're going to get the opposite, if we're going to get the final pump, we're going to go into that final return to normal pump, right? Or if they're going to do just like they did last time and they'll liquidate us all with a 40% dump. We're ready for the ride either way it goes. But short term, over the next couple weeks, we are expecting this thing to move back up to the upside into that new moon, into that solar eclipse that's going to be taking place on April 30th. Now, I will say this in regards to this. I just came across the guy last night on Twitter who was talking about the solar energy and basically the sun cycles. So I was laughing to myself. I'm like, gee, we got the whole moon cycle, the moon phases figured out, but we haven't even been factoring in the sun cycles. So I'm going to be going deep on that as well. And I'll let you guys know what I find in regards to that. So we've been studying the moon. Now it's time to study the sun. It's all part of the strategy. If we can use it to make some money, if we can use it to know when the dip's going to be coming in, we'll trade that. We'll trade that. And for those of you guys who believe that I'm talking absolute nonsense, let me pull up the chart for you guys and I'll show you guys, just so you don't think that I'm falling off my rocker absolute crazy. Because guys, trust me, I don't do the horoscopes. The witches freak me out with the horoscope, periscope, your Aries, I don't even know what it is. I have no idea even what that is. But if I can follow the moon phases to trade the charts, I will take advantage of that. It's funny. The TA guys that were making fun of us last year for following the moon phases, now they've added that to their analysis. So this was the chart that I shared with my Discord group last night in our weekly call. So I put in the indicator. Let me make sure you guys can actually see this. Yeah, let me make sure you guys can see this, YouTube. There you go. So here you go. What you have here is these are the new moons. These tops that you're seeing are the new moons, and then the full moons are where you're seeing these bottoms come in, right? So I put here the indicator, that yellow vertical bar is on the new moon 430, right? So you can see on the chart here, basically we have a week and a half until we're going to reach that new moon. So what's been happening is about 5 days before or 5 days after is when that top will come in or when that bottom will come in. And that's just short-term movements. So if you're doing that, I was telling my Discord last night, I really want you guys to be careful because manipulation at this time is at an all-time unprecedented. Margin debt is at an all-time high. It's like 800 billion, I believe. Margin debt is at all-time high, and that includes the whole stock market and crypto as well. But margin debt is at an all-time high, and so they will liquidate us, right? So if you're going to be trading this market, what I recommend is stay away from futures trading. And if you're going to do leverage trading, maybe just use some margin trades that allow you to use a little bit of leverage, not as risky as futures. But that allows you to do a swing trade with leverage over about a week or a week or 2 week period. Or just don't use leverage at all. Just buy your cryptos around the full moon, right? And then just sell them off around that new moon, right? Or just ride up. We're seeing these movements. Look at that pattern. For those of you guys who think I'm absolutely crazy, look at the pattern, right? The pattern speaks for itself. I don't care to study astrology. I don't have time to do it. I listen to Waters Above Crypto. God bless the guy, because he goes into it and gives us the understanding how we can relay it back to the markets and how we can trade it. So basically, when I'm trying to figure out where the market's going to go, I listen to Waters Above Crypto, and then I listen to BC Backer. And those have been my TA guys, basically guiding me for where this market goes. I don't really listen to anyone other than those two guys. So, but with that being said, I want you guys to be careful right now. Okay. Market manipulation is at an all-time high. They love to liquidate you. And that's why the futures is more risky. The futures, you're going to be borrowing at a higher cost, and it's a more short-term loan, versus your margin, using margin will give you a little bit more leeway there, or just don't use leverage at all. That's also a good strategy. But if you want to do this, you could be swinging this. I haven't had time to trade. I haven't had time to trade. So I don't really, do trading right now. But my personal investments right now, I'm just not investing in cryptos, period, right now, really. As I've been telling you guys, I've been sticking just cash on the sidelines since December for the most part, right? I've invested a very, very little bit into crypto, added to our precious metals, added to our Second Amendment. But we're looking to swoop up some real estate deals. If we get some deals coming across, we're going to swoop up property. But I'm anxious to get back into trading here because this pattern's been spot on. I mean, gosh, look at that thing, right? It doesn't get much more clear than that. And you don't have to time the bottoms. You don't have to time the tops. You just ride the wave and you scalp and you take your opportunity. How I got wrecked, because see, this is what happened, is back in September, I got onto this pattern, right? BC Backer's been spot on. Waters Above Crypto has been really good too. And so I've used this knowledge, and we knew where the market was going, but I was placing bad futures trades that were levered up 10 to 20 times, and I was getting liquidated with short-term movements. We were right as far as the direction of the market. I would have made a bunch of money had I just not done futures trading. If I would have just done margin, or if I would have just bought my cryptos low and sold them high. But we were trying to lever up and maximize our returns, maximize our gains. And that's why I got wrecked, is because I was placing improper trades. I was inexperienced, like literally placing trades with no stop loss and just writing them down 50%, writing them down to zero, and just getting absolutely wrecked. That was just me being a novice, inexperienced trader. But since September, we were basically spot on as far as the direction of the market in like short-term movements, because we were following this pattern. And then we line this up with the overall, world stage events and how we see this playing out. And then we positioned ourselves accordingly. But I'm anxious to get back into making some moves. Just currently, I'm just so busy. I'm so busy in my businesses, I don't have time to trade. But yeah. mean, you guys are seeing this chart. Okay, so let's talk about Lobster. Let's talk about Stellar. Let's talk about, is the new stock market going to Stellar? For me, I'm going to be dropping my deep dive on this week. My conclusion right now is that basically what we have is a lot of people are hyped up on the quantum financial system rolling out. I am too. One sec. Okay. So I'm excited about the quantum financial system. I drink the Kool-Aid too. The QFS Kool-Aid. I love it. However, I think that we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. I think we need to just think this in simple terms. These are decentralized exchanges on XLM and on XRP. You can issue assets on both ledgers. So whether it's the stock market moving to Stellar or not, the bottom line is these blockchains are going to dominate in the quantum financial system. I am more bullish on XLM after seeing these developments over the last month. Last week in particular, I knew that we were around the full moon. Full moon came in on April 16th. So I knew that we were going to be bottoming out, and I wanted to buy XLM under 20 cents. I wanted to stack up more so bad. I am not ready to invest into these projects on the Stellar ecosystem. I'm not buying any of these companies. You spend one XLM, you get 1 billion tokens. I'm not doing that. And I don't have enough information to feel enough conviction to do that yet. However, this is the beautiful thing about XRP and XLM, is that these ledgers are going to run large portions of the quantum financial system, right? These are decentralized exchanges built on top of these ledgers that work flawlessly, that you can use cheap, efficient. And the problem is that you got bad actors taking advantage of this technology. I think it only costs $20 to launch your token on the Stellar network right now. XRP, I don't know if it costs anything, maybe 10 XRP to open up a wallet and to build a token. I don't know if it costs anything to issue an asset on the XRP ledger. So you have a lot of bad actors. You have a lot of people that are taking advantage of this. So you got to be careful when you go into this. Here's my problem that I've come through my research on this, is that when I go to all of these external links to all of these websites that are doing the custody, that are doing all of these programs, they're all links that are down. They're all websites that don't take you anywhere. If they take you anywhere, they take you to a website that all it has is a landing page that wants you to KYC and put in your information. So for me, I'm excited about it as the quantum financial system as anybody else. This is the quantum financial system that I'm investing in and preparing for. Look at my shirt, right? But for me, I've never been interested in these stock market plays because the opportunities, the gains, the potential is not there. Is it there for these? Maybe. Maybe I just don't have enough information. And maybe it's there, but I can't find anything. I can't verify. Indo Exchange, whatever it is, Indo Exchange, Swiss custody. You go to look, you can't find any information on these people. All of this Stellar Lobster ecosystem stuff is coming from three people, literally. It's coming from Whiplash, which shout out to Whiplash. He shared my stuff. I like Whiplash. It's coming from QSI. Emily, which she seems very knowledgeable, very smart. I'm not discrediting these people. I'm just saying where all of this information is coming from. And then the guy named Tim that was on the QFS team show, I don't even know his name, Tim. It's like coming from 2 or 3 people. My problem is that I can't find documentation. I can't find evidence. I can't find partnerships. I can't find anything solid to want to go in hard. Should you invest 5XLM and throw it around? Should you invest some money over there? Maybe. For me, I don't do 5 XLM investments. I don't do $20 investments anymore. I never have. For me, if I'm making a position, I'm going in hard. That's why 90% of my crypto bag is XRP. If you discount XRP, if you remove XRP out of my portfolio, about 50% of it is XLM, right? I am more bullish than ever on XLM after researching this. But for me, I just don't have enough information to be investing in any of these companies. And the opportunities really don't get me excited. If I'm going to be investing in a company, I want it to be pre-IPO, before the company actually goes public, right? Pre-IPO Ripple that's available on Link2 and these platforms that you're hearing about. Those are moves that I'd be making. But with that being said, let's go rapid fire Q&A. If the developers don't show, yes, just like with XRP, right? Just like with any NFT project. If it's an anonymous developers, run. Run. And here's the last thing that I want to say on this. Understand that there's a lot of people that want to take advantage of us people who are researching the quantum financial system, who are trying to prepare ourselves for the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. There's a lot of people that are trying to take advantage of us. So, in conclusion, be careful, do your own research. If you have enough conviction, if you want to gamble, gamble. If you have enough conviction that you think it's a for sure bet and you're going to go hard, God bless you. I 100% believe that a quantum financial system is ready to be rolled out. I believe that it's already been launched on the back. It's already rolled out. It's already rolled out on the back end. However, a lot of this is investing on faith. But when you look, for me, it's easy to make investments into these coins because we can see the partnerships, we can see the adoption, we can see who's running Ripple, who's running Stellar. We can see these connections. So for me, I'm going in hard based off of that information. Okay. All right, let's go rapid fire Q&A. Thank you for tuning in. YouTube, if you guys could smash that thumbs up for me, I'd greatly appreciate that. TikTok, let's run it up. Rapid fire Q&A. What are we working with tonight? Is XDC going to be listed on bigger exchanges? Yeah, I hope so. We've been waiting for that. Yeah. The projects on the Stellar Dex are trash, 99% of them. Yes, just like the XRP ledger. Yes, 99% of them don't have any utility, and they're trying to take your money. Yep. That's why I want you guys to be careful, use discernment, do your own research. Yeah, they call it the white hat KYC. Yeah. Yeah, all these platforms that want your KYC. Yeah. Why is the DXY chart strong and bullish when dollar is inflating and weakening? It's the safest, it's the safest place left for a lot of people still. Now, obviously, Russia, a lot of the BRICS nations have already ditched the dollar, right? But for a lot of the Western world, right, they're holding cash right now. They're going back to cash. They're saving. So I believe that's why the DXY is looking good right now. Brian, thank you so much for the support, brother. 35 spot, man. That's massive, Brian. I appreciate that. I've learned to take time to research a project and not fall for the hype. Mind you how you go. Another great night. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate you. Elaborate on the research you can do about the quantum finance group. Yeah, you can only consume so much information, right? So. What do you think about HBAR? Good utility, good project. Nobody's adopted the actual coin. No one's actually using the HBAR token yet. Not saying it's not a good investment, not saying it doesn't have good potential, but self-sustainable housing. Yeah. What we're seeing right now is, uh, you sound like a scammer. I'm sorry that you feel that way. Definitely not scamming anybody. You are the man. I tune in almost every night. Thank you, brother. Yeah, appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. I really appreciate your support. I think Casino Coin is legit. Well, Casino Coin, yeah, it's interesting. Potentially, right? Because it's basically funding gambling, right? It's being used for gambling. What price should I sell XRP at? I don't have any information. I don't have any financial advice for you guys in regards to when you should sell your XRP. You guys are all in a different situation. How can XRP help the dollar maintain its advantage? Um, well, they're going to force the CBDCs on us. Are the houses staying at this price, or is the value going down? I expect that the real estate prices, I think, are actually going to hold. I'm not expecting the real estate market to actually drop that much. Inflation's too high, and especially in America, the supply is nowhere where it needs to be, nowhere near where it needs to be. Yeah, we got India in the chat. Yeah, thank you. Can you explain liquidity? $5 trillion worth of liquidity is settled on the Swift network daily. That's $5 trillion that's moving. That's not a store of value like Bitcoin. That's actually moving, right? It's not a store of value like gold at a $10 trillion market cap. That's liquidity moving. Is the government messing with our water? I would do research on that. I would look into that. Oh yeah, and also in regards to real estate, it's so dependent on the market. I'm actually following a real estate agent that's in Toronto because she's providing a lot of good insight on the market there. Prices are tanking on the high-end real estate in Toronto. So in these high-flying markets, you're going to see some crashes there. Yeah. And in my market in particular, I'm seeing some activity as well. So it all depends. Real estate's so dependent on your local market or wherever you're investing. Will regulations affect exchanges, therefore affect us? Absolutely, 100%. You've already seen that Nano took away staking on the XRP. Yeah. Or sorry, not staking, but your interest on the XRP. Nexo basically took away your interest, the DeFi for America already, before regulations even got passed. Yes, that is true. Yes, 17 minutes to go. Let's go 17 minutes with it. Where should I invest my money? I would join my Discord group. I would sign up for my exclusive Discord group, okay? And we can help you in there. I'm trying to sell in California by June and buy in Georgia. Should I sell sooner? Well, yeah, I don't know what's best for you, but these high flying markets are absolutely, I mean, California's wrecked. That state's gone. Bitcoin short term, it's going to be moving up 2 weeks, or basically a week and a half until the new moon, April 30th. We'll be moving up till the end of the month. See, can the reset happen in May? Reset's already happening. The reset's already underway. How does one move XLM into a ledger? If you guys need help with Fed just another 25 basis points on the interest. Yeah, they're considering actually doing 50 basis points. And we even had one Fed guy say that we should do 75. So that would raise the rates to about 1%. Which it's funny because back in, like I said, 1980s, they had to raise rates to 20%. The other thing to consider, guys, is that the real inflation is not 8.5%. Real inflation is 17%, at least. If you guys are asking about the water, I'm talking about a documentary. It's out there. I already gave you guys the name of it. I'm not going to speak on it. I can't speak on it. Not saying it's true, not saying anything about it. All I have to say is that they tricked over half the population into taking the sauce. Thoughts on the shutdown of the internet on June 30th? I have no idea about that. I haven't heard of it, but I don't worry about dates anymore. All I worry about is events. If I know that the events are inevitable, I can position myself accordingly. Right? So I don't worry about dates anymore. I threw out, we watch the moon phases, right? When we're trying to trade this market, but I don't worry about the dates. I don't do the 10 days of darkness is coming next week. I did that for 2 years and it got us nowhere. Okay. So I don't do that anymore. All I do right now is I try to figure out what events are coming next down the pipeline, right? And how do I position myself accordingly? This was funny. I wouldn't believe those guys what they have to say about lobster. He also thinks we will have access to flying saucers, be able to teleport in seconds, and live hundreds of years with a med bed. Yeah. Yeah. There's basically already been people that have been like selling like fake med beds that don't work. They're not at the right frequencies. So like, yeah, that's what I mean. Like people are trying to take advantage of us. People are trying to take advantage of us. My wife works at B of A. Talk about them investing heavily into XRP. That's awesome. Does one have to be a trader to be properly positioned? That's a good question. No. I'm not trading right now. No. Nope. You can buy and hold. Keep it simple. I recommend that for 90% of people, as a matter of fact. Nine out of 10 traders lose money. And so that means that, you have about a 10% chance of actually making money, real money. And so I was just telling my Discord group last night that we all need to put our focus on generating more income right now. Should be our main focus. Starting our side hustle, starting our business, figuring out how we get a raise at our job. I was speaking about this at the very beginning of the year, how to prepare ourselves for inflation. And I think that it needs to be the number one focus of 90% of people that are listening to me right now is focus on making more money. Right? We're all trying to figure out, the next 10x crypto. Well, when you only have $1,000 to invest, that's not going to change your life, even if you catch the 10x, right? The other thing, investments aside, because of inflation, if you want to even survive, you got to get your paper up. That should be the focus for 90% of people that are listening to me right now. Number one focus should be generating cash right now. Start your side hustle, start your business, stop wasting your weekends. Get up off your ass. Now, for those of you who are retired, you're at the end, right? You're living off your Social Security, all that. Keep moving is my recommendation for you guys, is keep moving. Do not sit idle. That's going to lead you to the end quicker. You want to stay moving. And I'm not saying that you need to keep working, but find your passion. It's very easy right now to monetize your hobbies, to monetize your wisdom that you have living for, 60, 70 years. So if you're in retirement, if you're at the end here and you're listening to me, that's great. I would still be trying to figure out how to stack cash right now. I wouldn't be just relying on my Social Security check or my pension or whatever you got. Unless you're sitting on a big bag, then you're sitting on a big bag. Yeah, guys, right now, that should be your focus. Why was David Schwartz arguing today with Elon Musk? I think that David's just trolling. He's just playing around. You gotta get your paper up right now, guys. So if you guys are looking to join our group, our exclusive Discord group, just head on over to zachrector.com here. It'll bring you to this link. So the first link will ask you if you want to join our Patreon. You sign up for the Patreon, and then we'll get you the link to the Discord group. Okay. We have the XRP merch here. We have all of my social links here as well. And then we have, you can see here that we have the link to the podcast. We also have life insurance. If you guys are looking to add life insurance to your wealth preservation strategy, hit that link and you'll get in touch with my guy there. And so, yeah, it's all over here at the website, zachrector.com. I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in with me tonight. If you could smash that thumbs up for me on the way out. Super excited. We got the, we're going to be dropping our complete deep dive on the Stellar Network QFS this week. Thursday in my Discord group, we're going to be having our prepping class, our second prepping class this month that we've had. Last week, we had our real estate deep dive. All of our live recordings are posted. I also did our weekly call yesterday. And so that's also posted in there as well. Then you get our full access to all of our resources, all of our information that we're sharing there on a daily basis. And you can join an individual, join a group of like-minded individuals as well. But we're going to have to wrap this one up. I appreciate all of you guys so much. We will see you in the next one. Take